opened, and welcome everyone and the viewers at home. Wondering if there are any conflicts of interest amongst the council members this evening's agenda. No, that's good. We have one council member that is under the weather this evening. We're one short, Councillor Baker. So everyone else is here. Thanks. Look for the adoption of the published agenda for Monday, November 17th, regular council meeting. Councillor Vokes, Councillor Baker, or Councillor Scott. Get Bill off my mind here. Question? And in addition?
I have
okay.
one too.
Yep. Okay, Councillor Bonding.
Okay, thank you. When the time is appropriate, I'd like to add a notice of motion and also an emergency resolution for council to consider. Thank you.
Through your worship, and I also have the addition of delegating and of approving and processing of community improvement applications for the duration of Planner Heather Jablonski's absence to Jeff Watson, our policy planner.
Okay, anyone else? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Adoption of the minutes for November 3rd, 2014, regular council meeting. Councillor Vokes, Councillor Scott, any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. November 11th, 2014, quarter revision. Deputy Mayor Malas moves, supported by Councillor Vokes. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. November 11th, quarter revision, minutes for the Essex outlet drain. Moved by Councillor Vokes, supported by Councillor Scott. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Public presentations. Our first one this evening is Patrick Giovanni Polani. Request for enhanced safety mechanism at the pedestrian crossing at Hanlon Street South and Fairview Avenue. Welcome, sir. And as soon as you get started, we'll give you 5 minutes.
Thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to express my concern tonight. Just a little bit of background information. I currently reside at 160 Hanlon Street in Essex. I've been here since 2006. My concern with regards to the pedestrian crossing situated at the corner of Hanlon Street and Fairview Avenue. My students attend Holy Name School. My wife works there. On the morning of Thursday, October the 30th at approximately 8:45 a.m., my daughter was crossing the street at the advisement of the crossing guard when a vehicle traveling at speeds in excess of 40 kilometers per hour ignored her signal and almost came in contact with my daughter. This is only one of many incidents which I have reportedly noted from other members in my community. I ask council to study the viability of placing some type of enhanced safety mechanism at this intersection for everyone concerned. I'm also asking council to be proactive in this matter. I guess if you've been in that area, you've seen that the morning is much different than the afternoon. At the afternoon, there's a lot of volume and congestion at that corner because of the overwhelming amount of parent pickups on Fairview Avenue, buses that are trying to exit onto Fairview Avenue. The crossing guard is noticeably overwhelmed. But in the morning, particularly, when there are no cars around, there's no intrinsic impetus there for vehicles to slow down or to stop. And people are always in excess of 40 kilometers per hour in that one location. Some flashing sign, some amber signal whatsoever could, provide additional impetus for people to stop, to slow down. Just seeing a crossing guard sometimes or buses nowhere in sight, it makes it difficult for people to address that issue. I, for one, have been guilty. I know that I've been in excess of 40 kilometers an hour on certain occasions. If we don't see kids crossing the street or a bus that tells us that there is some type of activity that is taking place before and after school, it makes it difficult for people to take note of that. I also wanted to mention that I've been a teacher for 22 years with the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board, and I've been to various schools as teachers and as a coach. And Holy Name is one of few schools which is located directly on a major artery of transportation. Regardless of the 40-kilometer posting, it's a major artery. We will all agree that Fairview Avenue, which runs parallel to other major streets here in Essex, is an important part of commute. And if you look at all the schools, whether it's public or Catholic, in Windsor-Essex County, you will find that the minority of them are actually located on an artery of traffic like it is here in Essex. So I'm asking council to be proactive. A sign, a pedestrian sign, is an excellent imposition to provide impetus to everyone concerned. But I honestly believe, even on Hanlon Street, the fact that it's now complete, that we need a little bit more enhanced safety mechanism at that one location. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Mayor Malash.
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. Thank you very much for that presentation. I've noticed the same thing happening, and I'm sure there's other councillors here too who have noticed issues perhaps with safety there at that location. I know it's a very busy intersection in the morning and in the evening, but I do agree with you that when it's less active, the traffic seems to pick up speed. So there is an opportunity first thing in the morning to make it less safe than in the afternoon. But I've often thought to myself, if there could be something there, and I don't want to influence the outcome of this, so I'm not going to say what I think should happen there. But I do know that something needs to happen at that location. It is a very busy intersection, and only to become busier once we redo Fairview. I'm guessing that traffic will pick up. I do know that right now the suggestion for the expansion of Highway number 3, closing the route at Victoria and number 3, they don't want to have traffic entering and exiting onto coming off of number 3 and going on to number 3 at Victoria. The alternate route is going to be to come all the way down to Hanlon, cut across to Arner, and then get back on number 3. I don't really like that. I'm hoping that idea changes, but if that did go through, that would make that intersection that much busier. So what I'm going to suggest is that, and hopefully council is in favor of this, is to have it go back to our administration and have them come back with a couple of possibilities as to what possibly could be done there to make it more ideal. And I'm not going to make the motion at this point in time because I want to leave opportunity for other persons on council to make a comment if they wish. You can come back to me afterwards, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Councillor Vokes.
Thank you, Worship. Look at, I agree with Councillor Malash. Obviously, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to ask that administration through Chris Nepsey's office write a report to council on what we would be looking at to put a flashing light or a light there of significance that highlights that particular area. And then do we approve it separately through budget of 2015, or do we just write it in with the Fairview project as a whole? So I agree with you, not being biased to you. I simply agree with you that particular intersection does need some work to it, but just not that intersection, by the way. I can tell you all our crosswalks in Essex. Downtown, I cannot believe somebody hasn't got hit downtown Essex yet, because all we got is 2 simple lines that say you cross here. So, but outside of that can be entertained and talked to it when the time is right. But we do need something that talks to that, whether it's part of the project or independent.
Anyone further? Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Look for a motion to receive this report. Oh, Richard. What's it mean?
I can make a motion to receive the report if you want at the same time. I move to receive the report and furthermore to ask that this go back to our administration for review and to come back to this council at a future date in the near future once they have time to investigate what our best alternatives are.
Okay. Supported by Councillor Vokes. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Oh, one question. Councillor Vokes?
I don't, I want to make sure that Patrick and his family has an opportunity to understand the trail and where it goes from here. So, how do we do that? How do we make sure Patrick knows the report has been written and this is what I'm sorry, Cheryl?
Through your worship, I will advise him when it's coming back to council, and I'll be in contact with him.
Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Anything further? Oh. In here. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Our second presentation is the Harold Kinsman and Harold Colchester South Lions Club, new picnic pavilion at the Colchester Jackson Park in Ward 3. I see we have a number of members coming down. Not all of them, but I recognize some of them. Okay, if you need 10 minutes, 2 of you can speak. Okay? 2 of the 3. So flip the coin. And welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. We're here to present the Atlas Tube Pavilion, or propose the Atlas Tube Pavilion to be located in the southwest corner of the park down in Colchester Harbor. It's been discussed with Doug Sweet for positioning. We would like to get the same arrangement that we had for the pirate ship project, whereas the town took care of the invoices as they came in, and we structure the design and implementation of the project.
But the idea on the design is to possibly go to the university and have the university students will have a competition, and we'll have an award for that winning design at the end.
Yes, the engineering students at the University of Windsor. So we want to get the go-ahead to get the planning started on it and to ensure that the funding is available for it. And any funding that council may be able to contribute to it through any plans or any monies that are available for it. From my understanding, Atlas Tube is donating all the steel for the project, as well as there's $5,000 already on the books for this project.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Phillips?
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship. As was said, as the delegation was indicating, they've been speaking with Doug Sweet. Doug's not available to be with us this evening. We've had a lot of conversations with Dan Sauvé of your group as well, and it's a very exciting sounding project. For council's purposes, what administration has been looking at is, for that entire Jackson Park area, is the notion of a common look and feel for any of the attributes that we would put in there. And I know our planning department has been carefully monitoring the types of structures and the look of the structures. And so we're wanting to ensure that there's a common feel to those things, and then the location of it. So we have been working with, in particular, Dan's group, and looking at the drawings. We are committed to coming back to the group. I know that the folks here tonight to announce this formally to council, but your administration has been working with them quite closely to make sure that where it's situated and put at in the park fits the future, not just today but ultimately the future. And we would be coming back to council with a formal plan once that's ratified. But at this point in time, I know they have commitments from the Atlas Tube Group, and we've got some additional funding. The other aspect of it, I know Jeff Watson is working with a, is it a planner or is a architect, landscape architect, and they are working on the plans for the entire park area. So we're working on that, and once we've got that in a position, we'll be able to come back more clearly to council. So just wanted to add that piece in.
Any comments from the council members? Councilor Bonnie?
Thank you. I just want to thank you again for, committing and putting your resources and time and energy back into our community. It's appreciated, and I look forward to seeing the final result. And the pirate ship, I believe, is one of the most utilized parks in our municipality, and it's great. Thank you.
Sure. Looking for a motion to receive, and we can approve it in principle this evening and also. So, Councilor Bonnie, Councilor Scott, any questions to the motion? All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good fishing. At this time, I would look for someone to make a motion that we move 9A up. At this time, if you refer to 9A, it has to do with the corporate service report clerk. Oh, in front of that, in front of this one. Okay. Moved by Councilor Bonnie, Councilor Scott. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carried. Ms. Hunter, will you please? They can't hear you at home. They can't hear you at home. Get right in front of this mic, okay?
Okay, back in January of 2012, when Jeff Morrison joined the town of Essex, he was roughly 2/3 of the way through the Certified General Accountant's program. Since that time, he's worked very, very hard, giving up much of his vacation to study for exams, and has now completed the program. And as you will see from his certificate here, he has now earned the designation of CGA and Chartered Professional Accountant. I hope you'll join me in congratulating him, and I'm very proud.
And we do have time to have a photo. Jeff, if you don't mind, the ladies would like to get your photo there. Donna, go with them. Thanks. And I'd just like to add, Jeff gets many more of these. He'll never leave this municipality, I'm telling you. Good job, Jeff. Looking for a motion to receive and letter be sent. Okay, Councilor Bondi, Councilor Bowman, any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Where are we? Reports from administration, building department report number 2014-10, October 2014 building report. Councilor Bondi, supported by Councilor Vokes. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. B, planning department report number 2014-49, site plan control amendment, spec -03-14. Just looking for approval. Councilor Bondi, Councilor Bowman, any questions? In favor of the motion? Motion carries. Now we're down. C, Corporate Services Report Number Clerk 2014-009 Election Reporting Results of 2014. Moved by Councillor Bondi, supported by Councillor Vokes. I would just like to say what a great job they did, Cheryl and all of her little elves. It's a humongous job. You know, all you had to do is be around the office for, I don't know, a couple of weeks there, and it's maybe longer. It was unbelievable. All these guys were just like bees, never stopped. They didn't have time to stop. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. D, Community Services Report Number 2014-030, Agreement with Southern Ontario Military Muster. And we have two recommendations. Councillor Bonnie moves, supported by Councillor Bowman. Any questions? All in favor of that motion? Motion carries. And they are here, and we had a meeting previously with the Spitfire group and the SOM group, and in front of everyone home watching us, on behalf of the municipality, thanks to both you groups for getting that wonderful Spitfire in our municipality. Thank you. Correspondence. B, Town of Collingwood reconsider decision to eliminate home-to-home postal delivery. Okay. Moved by Councillor Bondi, supported by Councillor Scott. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Ontario Good Roads Association, October 28, 2014. For a motion to receive. The nominations, I will tell people at home that they're looking for board of directors. Nominations are accepted until December the 19th. Councillor Bowman moves, supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Ministry of Citizenship, Immigration, and International Trade. June Callwood Outstanding Achievement Award for volunteers in Ontario. Looking for a motion that it be received and the call for nominations be placed on the town's Facebook page. Councillor Scott, supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Essex County Agricultural Hall of Fame. Nominations for 2015 Hall of Fame induction. Motion received by Councillor Bondi, supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. And I'll just add to the people at home that there's a call out for nominations, and they will also be placed on the town's Facebook page. And doesn't have it. Oh, it does. Until December the 31st, you may nominate these people. Deputy Mayor Malash?
I wanted to make sure that the Facebook page was mentioned as well.
Thank you very much, sir. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Committee of Adjustment regular meeting agenda for Tuesday, November the 18th. Councillor Scott, Councillor Bondi, supported. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Ministry of the Environment and Climate Change, cancellation of municipal funding program, phase 2. Okay. Okay. Supported. Yeah. Supported by Councillor Vokes. All in favor? Motion carries. Committee meeting minutes, Finance Committee, November 11th, recommendation to council. That council, the town supports the $7,500 as initial program for the removal of snow and this winter. Yep, Councillor Bondi, supported by Councillor Vokes. Councillor Bondi?
Thank you. I think it's going to be very exciting to see this pilot project roll out. This comes across from a lot of brainstorming with Essex Community Services, Council, Administration, and the community, Doug and Donna and Russ. And so what we're going to do is going to just test the water and see. We know that snow removal is an issue in our community for seniors or people with disabilities. And we've been brainstorming for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, about what we can do to support these individuals that are living in their homes. So I'm anxious to see this up and rolling. Hopefully we don't have a whole lot of snow this year, so we won't use up that whole $7,500. But I'm not sure if you want to add anything, Deputy Mayor, but we had a great brainstorming session the other day. And, you know, Councillor Vokes, this has been something on your radar as well. And we will be doing a call for volunteers, and it'll be similar to a Snow Angels program that is running in the city of Windsor, but we won't be calling it Snow Angels. I don't know what it will be called, but we are looking for anybody that's interested to help shovel snow. And perhaps this is where Olivia can come in, and you know, you could get a little team of eager high school students that want community hours. And you know, we're thinking of perhaps maybe businesses would donate, you know, maybe a Tim Hortons gift card or something small, and for every hour that a volunteer does for snow removal, they can get a ticket in a draw at the end of the month. But we're still up in the air and we're still brainstorming, but we're going to move ahead. And I think our communication staff will do a call for volunteers soon, as if we pass it tonight. And I think it's going to be a great program for the town. So hopefully, Olivia, this is a project that you can help us with.
Deputy Mayor Malash?
Thank you, through your worship. I'm not sure if that communication is going to come from the town of Essex, though it's going to be Essex Community Services that are going to be handling the organization of this, and they're going to be reviewing, of course, I would love to have my sidewalks shoveled as well in front of my house, but there's going to be some criteria as far as who can have their sidewalks shoveled. So, and of course, it'll depend greatly upon the number of volunteers that we have and so on. So I too think, and we did have some good brainstorming, I think it's going to be a wonderful program. But thank you to Essex Community Services for spearheading this on behalf of the town of Essex and the residents of the town of Essex.
Okay, thank you very much. Further to the Finance Committee, there's a second item on here that with a recommendation. Councillor Bondi, you moved Finance Committee minutes. Do you also move the second part of this one? Absolutely. Okay. And the seconder, same. That was Randy. Councillor Vokes, that's okay with you also? Okay. Any further questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Bylaws. Bylaw number 1371 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Essex and the Corporation of the City of Windsor for pathway to potential funding for 2014. Councillor Vokes moves, supported by Councillor Bowman. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Bylaw number 1372 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the November the 17th, 2014 regular meeting of the Council of Corporation of the Town of Essex. Councillor Vokes, Councillor Scott, any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Financial law, October the 2014 bank payments report. Councillor Vokes moves, supported by Councillor Bowman. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. New business. Notice there's a motion. Chris has no, okay.
Sure. Due to our prolonged absence for our planner, Heather Jablonski, I'm looking for council authorization to allow Jeff Watson to issue and grant CIP monies directly and not have to come to council, similar to what we did with Heather. So I would need council direction for that.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Malash, supported by Councillor Vokes. Any questions? All in favor of that motion? Motion carried. Thank you. Councillor Bondi?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The notice of motion? Okay. I'm not sure if everybody has had a chance to see the annual accommodation and capital planning report from the Greater Essex County District School Board. I just had the time to sit down and read it today, and it's actually quite alarming for Harrow Centre. So I would like to put a notice of motion forward for the December 15th council meeting that the Council of the Town of Essex write again to the Greater Essex County District School Board, reaffirming the importance and the commitment of this council to the future of education in Harrow Centre. And the reason why I'm very concerned is that this report is actually quite bleak when it comes to education in Harrow. I just want to read 2 sentences, and then I'm hoping that the council members that are here with us on December 15th have a chance to read it. Primarily pages 26 and 27. And it just says, the community of Harrow continues to experience declining enrollment, aging infrastructure, and increasing renewal costs. That's the money they have to put back into schools. And the last sentence at the end of the blurb is, it's time to revisit the viability of maintaining the current arrangement. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't think anybody knows what that means. You know, we strongly advocated for a SK or JK 212 school in Harrow Centre, and I'm hoping that this council is going to support that in any way we can, whether we stand on our desks and kick and scream and holler, but I think we can all foresee and imagine the devastation it would have to this municipality, primarily the southern end of this municipality, if we were to move any of the schools, whether it be the grade school or the high school, from the Harrow Centre. And if we have to fight for it again, we have to fight for it again. But I think it's time to be proactive. I see some planning issues in this, whether it be we need to go out there and start working on developing a couple of more subdivisions. You know, I think that Harrow is on the brink of expanding, and I don't want to be left without permanent education in the Harrow Centre. So that's my notice of motion. Thank you.
What is that? Just, okay. I'm sure you'll get that. Okay. I'm sure you'll get that. Wouldn't be the first time we were fighting the school boards. Thank you, Sherry. And then Cheryl. Oh. Okay.
Thank you, me again. I was hoping Councillor Baker would be here tonight because he's been working on this file as well. And we've been watching Bill 15 for the past, I would say, about a year before we went into a provincial election. Bill 15 is proposed by our provincial government to look at strengthening consumer protection as part of the government's pledge to reduce auto insurance rates, which we can all think and see that is a good thing. But it's actually, once you start digging and doing research, you see that it's a blanket policy and it doesn't affect all areas of our province equally. I have concerns of how this would impact towing at the local level. It could restrict our local towing companies in the ability they have to provide emergency services by holding them to the same standards as the commercial vehicle registry. It's time sensitive, and I know that, and I was working all day on council initiatives, and I sent out my email to council earlier. As I walked in the Civic Center here, the email just came through, so my email unfortunately wasn't working all day, off and on. The committee that was meeting on this bill is seeking feedback, but that time has passed, but doesn't mean we still can't send a letter. I have been in contact with our MPP, Taras Nadashak, and they are still accepting feedback, so I would appreciate if we could send them something. So this blanket legislation may have a desired effect in Toronto, in the Burlington, Brampton, Oshawa area, that it targets outrageous towing bills there, but it will also have the ability to harm us here in the rural areas by pushing out small towing companies and making it less feasible for us to have access to towing services. So I did send out a letter that Derek Dodone, who can't be here tonight because he's getting ready to go out of town on business, but we can call him at any time. I did send out a letter. He is a member of the board of the directors for the Provincial Towing Association. There are 9 members on this board. He is one of those members. Their feedback is going to this committee as well. But he has sent a letter as well, and I was hoping that this council could either A, support his letter and give council sanction to his letter, or if council isn't comfortable with that, which I understand, just to send some letter saying, you know, there's a lot of pieces in this bill and they're not listening to all key industry stakeholders. And that's what's concerning. It's entering into its 3rd reading, and it seems to be rushed through, to say the least. And I don't know what we can do as a council, but it is time sensitive. And if you had a chance to pick away at it or talk to Derek Dodone, you would know that there are a lot of concerns for the rural areas of our municipality. There is one issue that we should want to see in this bill, and that is a provincial regulation on towing licenses. Right now, some municipalities have towing licenses. So, for example, if there were towing licenses in Essex County, if somebody had to get a tow truck from Amherstburg to Leamington, each municipality would have a towing license. So the tow truck would have to pay a licensing fee in each municipality as they pass through, where if we had a provincial license, you would have to pay one. So there's things like that where the bill is not clean cut. It's meant to target the chasing that goes on in the side of the road on the 401 in the Toronto Centre areas, but it does not work for us down here. I'm just looking for council thoughts on what we could do to support our local interests in this provincial bill that is being pushed through. Sorry for my rant again.
Any comment? Okay. I think we could sit down with administration and have a letter drafted. Need a motion to do that. Okay. She moving?
Okay, I would like to make a motion that administration draft something and send it. I can provide the contacts, and definitely our MPP.
Okay. Yep. Councilor Vokes, support. Any question? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Now our clerk, Cheryl, you had one, or you didn't have one? That was it, okay. Just about, yep. Okay. At this time, this is our last meeting. As a present council, sorry. These guys grow on you. So we have 3 outgoing council members, and first of all, I'd like to mention that we do have 2 council-elects in the crowd here. Billy Caxero from Colchester South, and which is Ward 3, and Steve Bjorkman from Essex Centre, which is Ward 1. Welcome, gentlemen. We have one other new council member coming in, council-elect Larry Snively, and he's gone hunting. When he's back, he's going to be hitting the road running. So Steve just came off his vacation, so he's ready. Bill's always ready, so we'll welcome those gentlemen at the right time. And right now, seeing as how Mr. Baker is not here this evening, he has sent something to our CAO, who will read his little message to us.
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. Bill sent me an email earlier today indicating that as you've gathered from our conversation this morning, we were talking on the phone. He's rather ill, can barely speak, and he didn't want to bring any bugs with him to the council. It's therefore that he regretfully is absent from the last council session this evening, and he said that if he could be here, he would have been, because he believes that he's only missed, I think, two council sessions in the last 4 years. With council's concurrence, I'd like to read a brief outgoing address from Councillor Baker. First, and these are Bill's words, first I'd like to extend my appreciation to administration and department staff for their without question, support and knowledge that they've provided over this term. They educate and provide counsel with straight facts, always. I've learned a tremendous amount of valuable knowledge, and for that I thank you. As we've initiated the operational review in this past term, the outcome, in my opinion, has implemented systems and processes which have found new efficiencies in the operation of our town. And while it's always a work in progress, as continued improvement has been the theme of this administration. And with the changes and addition in the operations of our town's business, it's in good hands of a skilled and accredited professionals led by a very competent CAO. To my current council colleagues, which I've had the pleasure to serve with, and we have all accomplished a lot. From many new community developments such as splash pads, park updates, events, and increased tourism, leading bylaw development in animal welfare and public health, implementation of CIPs, which is experiencing significant uptake recently and will continue to revitalize our town's centers. The development of cycles and cycle trails that will put Essex on the map, road resurfacing and infrastructure improvements, seeking efficiencies in hard-fought budget discussions for infrastructure, roads, facility management, and staffing needs. New industrial commercial development and a growing wine, microbrewery, and agro-tourism sector. To the focus on rezoning for the growth in the industrial commercial sector for tax revenue growth. Much of council's work is done outside the chambers with residents, businesses, community groups, and volunteers. That's where much of council's accomplishments take shape. Continued council outreach will be a most important for this new term. This is evident with the many community campaigns just as this term, such as the Essex Legion Cenotaph, the Harrow Legion Cenotaph, the Spitfire Memorial, Kinsman Pirate Ship, the Kinsman Atlas Tube Pavilion, and many events and festivals that create our community. I urge the next council to carry on much of what we have started. Getting the town of Essex on the map, literally, will be very important. As is the nature of a council, we are not always there to agree. I have learned the art of hearing all sides of an issue and have certainly honed my debating skills. What I take away from council discussions is that it is most important to listen to the discussion, speak when there's a measure of relevance or clarity of the facts, and because the vote to the residents on the issue being decided is most important, not our opinions. I truly have appreciated working in different ways with each and every councillor, the deputy mayor, and the mayor during this last term. I hope to keep engaged. Thank you too to the residents for the support they provide in my first term and through the recent election. I am overwhelmed. I also want to thank the committees and boards I was involved in that do a lot of heavy lifting, providing planning to council. The Heritage Committee is a passionate and devoted group with great cookies. CPAC, which was the trailblazing committee that brought forward a number of planning concepts for the Colchester Harbour through the acoustic study, and which I would suggest the future council should review and move on with divestiture as soon as possible. Finance Committee, where many of the tourism and community projects that require assistance are reviewed for council. The Personnel Committee, this was a committee that was instrumental in presenting to council the need for an operational review. ELK, which will now face potential opportunity as the result of the Clark report suggesting the divesting of Hydro One Distribution Company, where ELK could stand to benefit significantly. Committee of Adjustment for their continued focus to have modification to our official plan in the acreage reduction for severances of specialty crops from the 100 acres down to the 50-acre parcel. I would also like to extend the best wishes for the newly elected council that they may focus on initiatives with the best interest of our residents in mind, that they will seek to find the best efficiencies in the town's operation and delivery of services through guidance with administration so progress can be financed through new revenues and government programs while keeping the line on current assessments. I would like to leave the elected council and administration with a few thoughts as I depart these chambers. And he puts in that his spirit is with us tonight. Within the extensive boundaries of the town of Essex exist a variety of village community centers, playgrounds, recreation, tourism, industry sectors, and an abundance of volunteers and community groups that make this town function and makes Essex a place where people want to live. From the lake to the wineries and boutiques, businesses in the south, to the rich agricultural and growing possibilities throughout our borders, town centers like Harrow, which is growing employment center and it's seeing national interest, Colchester and McGregor, which each offers quaint unique living, and to Essex Center, one of the region's great residential community living and a great sports town. All these values in one town with such diverse offerings makes Essex a desirable place to be. I offer some humble advice that the newly elected council focus on a strategic direction that will provide prosperity in new revenue development that will set the stage for job opportunities, community programs, and living and amenities that will attract residents and industry. And overall, it should be about the people you serve and not about the politics. My 4 years serving the community on council for Ward 3 and the entire town of Essex has been a great experience. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank my family for enduring these last 4 years. You have always been there for me in my 5 to 9 commitment. And he puts in brackets from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I know very often I got emails from Bill at 4:30, so I think he was even up then at times. To the residents I served, my supporters, family, and friends, thank you so much. It's been a great ride. I have learned so much, worked to bring progress to our gem of a region, and will continue to work on ecotourism and development, but now back in the private sector and my various public sector board responsibilities. I'll continue to enjoy my achievements as well as my plans in the community. I'll keep interested in my own career, however humble, which may in any small way may assist in the changing fortunes of time. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. And so now I go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. Bill Baker.
Thank you for that, Russ. Council votes. Okay, Councilor John Scott. Got you next, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have a really prepared speech, but Bill's always been very thorough and thoughtful, so I appreciate and I certainly echo a lot of his comments. It's been a great 4 years. It truly has. It's the ability to be elected in public service is something that I've taken very seriously, and it's been great. It's been a great learning experience for me. What's assisted with that tremendously is we do have exceptional staff here. We have exceptional counselors with lots of experience and lots of passion for our community. I remember when Michelle and I moved out here to Colchester, it's now been 17 years ago. We moved here because we saw something in Essex and saw something in Colchester. And I think that's what's been great about this council is we've planted the seeds for a lot of great things that are going to happen. So I bid you farewell. I don't bid you goodbye forever. I bid you goodbye for now. People are asking me what I think about 2018. I said, I don't know, I'm having a hard time thinking about what I'm doing tomorrow. One thing, and I was sharing this with Morley and Richard Wyma as I was changing in the bathroom before I came to the meeting. That's one thing I won't miss, is having to change in the stall before I come to council from the day job. But it's been great. To the new incoming councilors, to my friend Steve and Bill, and to Larry, you guys also have a passion and heart for this town. Don't lose that. In the petty stuff that can happen, rise above that. And I think you will. To Morley, you've been a great source of wisdom here for sure. And always a tremendous statesman and spokesman. And certainly by your record of service, that's tremendous. And Bill and I have become friends over the year. I've leaned on him for a lot of advice because, as you see, he's very thorough and thoughtful, and he's knowledgeable about a lot of things. To the current council that's staying on, again, you guys, I think the focus of the things we have done will carry forward. I'm not worried that CWATS is going to die a slow death. I know that that is something that this council has always thought of, as well as our CIPs and that, so I'm not worried about that. I think I will be sitting out there occasionally. I'm not going to be like the steadfast people that are here every week, but I will be here to encourage you for certain things that I think are important for our residents. Again, thank you for the privilege to the people of Essex, Colchester, Harrow, McGregor, that makes up our great community. Thank you very much for the ability to serve. God bless.
And then to the senator, I'll call him the senator. We had one in the county building too, but Senator Harley Bowman.
Thanks, Your Honor. I didn't prepare a speech either, so and most of you know me know I never really do. So most of the things that I would have said have already been said, but some I think I'll say again. I've had some great councils over the years, and there's always characters on each one, and obviously this is no exception. So that's what makes councils interesting. The other thing that I think is so important, this is the greatest town in the province, and we have some of the greatest staff people over the years that have serviced, and not just the town or the staff we have now. They've all been great. And working with them, and I think I can call, without a doubt, all of them friends through those years. I think that's so important. You have a working relation with your staff, that you can talk candidly about things, and that's always been a real plus with our staff people. To the residents, I've had tremendous support over the years. You know, it's when you're going door to door, those are the type of things that you really appreciate. To my wife and family who have grown up basically as council members as we move forward, big thanks to them, because they go to a lot of things that they probably really didn't want to go to, but they did anyway. My grandson has been involved in the community, and he works part-time at the arena now, and he's happy doing that. So he's involved in the community as well, and that's great to see from my standpoint. It's really been a privilege to serve this community, because the people are interactive with you, and you can walk down the street and they'll tell you what they're thinking. That's always been a real positive. The municipality has changed. Obviously, when it came on in the 80s, you know, it was a 2-year term at that time. So instead of doing it every 4 years, you're doing it every 2 years. So that was different. And I've watched the municipality grow, and a lot of things change very slowly. But if you look back, the changes have been tremendous, and pretty well all of it's been for the good. There's always hiccups along the way, but we've come so far. And you always like to think that the things can't go on without you, but if you look, they will go on, they will get better, and we will move forward, because the people in the town tend to elect people that will serve, and the fellows coming on will do a super job, I have no doubt. Again, my last thank is to the people who have supported me over the years, and to them I say thanks for the memories.
Councilor Vokes?
Thank you, Worship. I'm just going to take a second. It won't be long-winded, John Scott. I want to say thank you. It's been an honor working with you over this last term. And to Morley, I want to tell you this. The history books will definitely write that you changed the landscape of the town of Essex. There's no doubt about that. But I want to share this with you. My daughter, who just unfortunately lost her life a couple months ago, I remember you changed her life, Morley, forever. I remember when my daughter, Priscilla, with a little coaxing of her mom, come up with the name of Hubbard the Clown. And I remember the day she was going to see you and meet you in your clown suit. And Sandy Larrabee was there, and you were there, and that's when you were named Hubbard the Clown by my daughter Priscilla. And I remember her excitement about that. I remember her coming home as a 5-year-old little girl just trembling with excitement. But I can tell you, Mr. Bowman, that excitement you left with many a people. Just not my daughter, but I guarantee you just about every resident in the town of Essex. I don't give compliments easy, but my hat's off to you, sir. Enjoy your retirement and your time with Bev.
Before I make a comment, I just want to remind everyone, the press has told me they want to take a picture of us. Okay? We may go down to Bill's house just so we can be there. I'm not sure, but stick around here anyways. I wish he was here. But I would just like to say, this group, 7 of us, and administration, it's like a family, believe me. Like, we're together a lot. We sometimes argue, like your loved ones do at home, I've been there, done that. So, Bill Baker, I've told many people, a lot of things I don't agree with Bill, but I've told many people he's probably the sharpest guy that I've known in a long time, other than maybe my campaign manager. And, I get to know Russ a little bit more. He might be sharper than Bill, but Bill's a very sharp person that has done a lot of good things for our municipality. Johnny Scott, I've told a few people, I could see him in about 30 years when he gets retired, possibly being the mayor of this municipality. And I've shared that with John. Also, a great person, along with Sherry and Bill, who I didn't know until 4 years ago. It's been a pleasure. All three is. And to Marty Bowman, Councilor Brooks just about said it all, but I just want to let people know that I've known Marley ever since he's came to town, and that's 30 years ago, Marley, I don't know, 73, 27, 14, 41. 41 years ago, I've known Marley a bit. I'll tell you, 11 years ago, when I was trying to get someone to run for mayor from Essex Center, Marley Bowman was the last guy that said no to me. And I had a lot of respect for Marley way back then, or I wouldn't have come to you, Marley. So, because he said no, then all the other people, 4 or 5 that I had asked, they all turned me down, and that's why I'm here. I said, well, no one, and you know, I've run 3 times. No one I feel should be acclaimed. Everyone should have a choice, and that's why I stuck my name in. But I was hoping Morley would, and when he said no, then my name came in. So, Mr. Bowman, Mr. Scott, and Mr. Baker, it's been a great ride. Thank you very much. One other comment. Now that I'm all set, I got a phone call this afternoon from a lady who lives in Essex Center. Her son has been in Afghanistan, Peggy Miller. Most of us know who that is. She had a call from Teresa Charbonneau, the mother of Corporal Paul Grennan, and she was hoping that everyone in the area would decorate their tree, put their yellow house light on, wear something yellow on November the 19th. Wear yellow, remember these gentlemen, especially Corporal Paul Grennan. Okay? November 19th, yellow. Thank you very much. Looking for that motion. Councilor Bowman? Yes. Supported by Councilor Scott. Those are the only 2 guys going to vote for it. We're staying here. No. All in favor of the motion. Motion carries. Have a good night, everyone.